Hello everyone, myself Vishal Nadabra, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, Junagadh, welcomes you in a lecture series of fluid mechanics. In last chapter, which was fluid static, we have seen different definition of pressure, then different units of pressure, then Pascal's law, hydrostatic paradox. Then we have seen total pressure and the center of pressure, which is nothing but the application of total pressure for four different type of surfaces. Actually, for all four types of surfaces are submerged surfaces, vertical surface, horizontal surface, inclined surface, and curved surface. Today, we are going to look at the new chapter, which is buoyancy and flotation. So, our today's topic will be buoyancy, center of buoyancy, Archimedes principle, types of equilibrium for the floating body, then metacenter and metacentric height. So let's start with the buoyancy force. Before going on the buoyancy force, I want to recall you some experience. Whenever you try to pull out some water by the bucket, at that time, what you have felt about the weight of the bucket outside of the water and inside of the water. You might have felt that when bucket is completely outside of the water, it have a higher weight in comparison with the when it is partially or fully submerged into the water. So there will be there will be no difference between of mass between these two cases, but still we felt some weight difference. So that weight difference is nothing but the force given by or force applied by the fluid in the upward direction, which is called as a buoyancy force again here. So whenever a body is immersed wholly or partially in a fluid, it is subjected to an upward force, which tends to lift or buoyant it up. So this tendency for an immersed body to be lifted up in the fluid due to the upward force opposite to the action of gravity is known as a buoyancy. And the force tending to lift up the buoyancy, it is called as a buoyant force or simply a buoyancy or a upthrust. So this is the buoyancy force. For calculation or of the magnitude of the buoyancy force, let's see the Archimedes principle, which said that when a body is immersed in a fluid, either wholly or partially, it is buoyant or lifted up, or simply a buoyancy force applied on that, which is equal to the weight of the displaced by the body. So by the help of the Archimedes principle, we can calculate the amount of force which is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. So buoyancy force and Archimedes principle, let's see the application of the buoyancy force, which is nothing but the center of buoyancy. So after calculation of the application magnitude of the buoyancy, let's see where it acts. So the point of the application of the buoyancy force or the force of buoyancy on the body is known as the center of buoyancy. So for considering the center of buoyancy, let's see one figure which is shown here. Here there is a one rectangular body perfectly in vertical direction and floating on the free surface of liquid. Say free surface of liquid is ln here. So this much amount of body is inside the water and this much amount of body is outside of the water. So according to the definition of the buoyancy force, this water will apply some upward force opposite to the gravity force on this body. And let's suppose this force is balanced by the weight force of this body. So in that case only this body can float on this surface. But when we try to calculate the center of buoyancy, we have to consider the volume which is completely inside the free surface of water. So say this volume is something like this. So this is the total volume which is completely inside the surface of the water, or say we can say it is submerged into the water, or say liquid. Then the center of buoyancy will be the center of gravity of this volume which is inside the liquid. say this point B, say center of buoyancy. So here there are 2 points, which is G and B. G, it is actually a application of force of gravitational force, or say simply weight, and B is the application of center of buoyancy. Sorry, implication of buoyancy force. So in this case, if W is equal to buoyancy force, say it is simply a FB. So when W equal to FB, the body will float on the surface of the liquid. But if W is greater than FB, or the magnitude of W is greater than FB, then the body will sink or submerge into the water. And if FB is greater than FB, or the force of buoyancy is greater than weight force, the body cannot stay on the surface of liquid. It will be buoyant out or forced out from the liquid. So by this way, according to the magnitude of the weight and the force of buoyancy, there are 3 types of equilibrium: stable equilibrium, unstable equilibrium, and neutral equilibrium. What is the stable equilibrium? When the W equal to FB, then it will float. Then unstable equilibrium and neutral equilibrium, that we will see in a couple of minutes. But before going on that, let's see the direction and the application of both these forces, weight force and buoyancy force, which is perfectly in the same vertical line, or we can say both forces are coaxial here. So before going on the equilibrium, let's recall what is buoyancy and the magnitude of buoyancy and the location of buoyancy. Buoyancy force is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. So it is equal to the weight of the fluid which is displaced by this body. So we can say the volume of water of this much amount, it is the equal to the magnitude of the buoyancy. And what is the application of the force of buoyancy? That is also important factor, which is the center of gravity of the volume displaced by the body. So the volume of the liquid displaced by the body. So ultimately we can say it is the center of gravity of the body which is under the free surface of liquid. So after getting this much point, let's see the 3 types of equilibrium. First is a stable equilibrium. When a body is given a small angular displacement or tilted slightly by some external force, and then it return back to its original position due to the internal force, say weight and the upward thrust, say buoyancy force. Such an equilibrium is called as a stable equilibrium. So let's understand with figure. Okay. Let's consider this is a body which is floating into the water, and this is the free surface of liquid. So bottom portion of the surface is inside the waters. These all are the water surfaces. When you apply some force on the one side, let's say here, let you apply the force of amount F1. When you apply the F1 force, the body will tilt and achieve the position like this. It will tilt and it may achieve the position like this. And when you remove the force from here, when you lift up or when you stop the applying the force F1 here, then if the body will return to its original position, say in this position, then this type of equilibrium called as a stable equilibrium. And after removal of the force, if the body will not come into this original position or the initial position, then it is called as a unstable equilibrium. And neutral equilibrium, if the body, when given a small angular displacement, occupies a new position and remains as rest in this position, it is said to possess a neutral equilibrium. So in this case, we can say, let's suppose understand with considering a one example. Let's suppose it is in one ball. It is not look like, but consider it is a ball, which is perfectly spherical shape. When you apply some force, it will not return to its original position. Say it will not in a stable equilibrium, or it will not achieve any fluctuation or any flotation. Rather than it will achieve a new position. So in this case, you can say it is in neutral equilibrium. So there are three types of equilibrium for any floating body: stable, unstable, and neutral equilibrium. After that, let's see the two important definition: metacenter and metacentric height. When you think about the metacenter, before going on the definition, let's again consider the floating body and the two different positions of the floating body. This is the floating body as seen earlier. This is the center of gravity, this is the center of buoyancy, or it is the application of force of buoyancy. Ln is the free surface of water, and this is the vertical axis, and these two forces both are coaxial. When you apply some force on one side, let's suppose here we will apply force F on the right hand side, then body may achieve this position. Or in this position, when you apply the forces, the center of gravity will not change. Say it will remain as it is here, because we do not change the mass of the body. But here you can see the body, or the portion of the body which is under the water surface, will change. So here you can say this much amount of portion will come out from the water level, and this much amount of portion will go inside the water level. So the shape or the amount of volume which is under the free surface of water will change, and so the position of the center of buoyancy will also change, because center of buoyancy is nothing but the center of gravity of the body which is under the free surface of water. So here B will shift, let's suppose B will shift here to here. Then application of force, application of buoyancy force will always on the B, and position of B is shifted to, let's suppose, B1. Then this is the line of action of force of buoyancy, and this is the line of action of force of gravity, say W. So here there are two different forces, there are two different line of action of force. And in this case, when you extend the force of axis, or the line of action of force of buoyancy, up to some height, and when it will intersect the normal line of the body and the intersection point, let's suppose it is here, intersection point is called as a M, and M is the always a fluctuating condition, and it will not the same. It may vary according to the case, or according to the oscillation of the body. So this hypothetical or imaginary point is called as a metacenter. Now let's see the technical definition. The metacenter can be defined as the point of intersection of the axis of the body passing through CG. Say in other terms, we can say normal line or normal axis of the body, and original center of buoyancy B, which is lies always on the normal axis of the body, and a vertical line passing through the center of buoyancy, say B1. So the intersection of two line, or intersection of the two axes, one is passing from the CG and center of buoyancy, or the original center of buoyancy, or the previous center of buoyancy, and the line passing from the new center of buoyancy, or the line of application of force through the new center of buoyancy, which is called as a metacenter. And in this case, the difference, or sorry, distance between this center of buoyancy, center of gravity, and metacenter is called as a metacentric height. So the distance between the center of gravity G and floating body of the floating body and the metacenter is the Gm. According to the case, the M position of may vary. M sometimes may be the different between the G and B, sometimes equal to the at the position, or the CG and M will be identical, or in some cases M will be above the center of gravity. And according to the position of this M, there are three different conditions of floating body, or whatever we have seen, the three types of equilibrium: stable equilibrium, unstable equilibrium, and neutral equilibrium. Let's try to understand with the help of metacenter these three type of equilibrium condition. So Here, let's start with the stable equilibrium. So when the body given as some tiltation, let's suppose, let me erase and draw completely a perfect body. Let's suppose this is the second position of the body after giving some tiltation, and this is the normal line of the body, and this is the new force of application of line of action of force of buoyancy FB, and the position of B is here. So this is the B1, a new force of center of buoyancy. Then this is the B, and let's suppose this point is G, center of gravity, and according to the definition, this point is M. Now, what happen when the position of M is above the G? Then we can see there are two different forces which are not coaxial, and when on a single body there are two forces which are not coaxial, it will be a some moment, or we can say couple will generate there because of these two equal forces. And in this case, when you apply the force in this direction, and the body will achieve this momentum, sorry, this position, and there because of these two different momentum, it will again generate a couple, but this couple will generate, you can say, in anti-clockwise direction. So when you apply the force, and the body will tilt in clockwise direction, and according to the your action of force, the body will move in the opposite direction, say in anti-clockwise direction. So in this case, when the M is above G, the body will return to its original position, and according to the definition, this is called as a stable equilibrium. But let's see what happens if the position of M, or location of M, is between G and M. Let's try to draw another figure. Say this is the condition of the body after tiltation. This is the normal line, and this is this point is G, say center of gravity, and this point is B, center of buoyancy. After tiltation, let's suppose because of any condition, the new location of center of buoyancy, say V1, will lie here. And according to the definition, the line of action of force of buoyancy and normal line, which must be passed from the center of gravity and center of buoyancy in previous position or in earlier position. This location is called as a M, say meta center. In this case, meta center is between G and M. So let's see what happened in this case. By the universal law, the weight force is always act on center of gravity, and the force of buoyancy will act on the new center of buoyancy, which is given here. So when you apply any force, say it will generate an anti-clockwise couple or anti-clockwise moment, and in this case, when the B meta center is below or between the B and G, say center of buoyancy and center of gravity, then what will happen? Let's see. In this case, here you can see there are two non-axial forces, and both act in opposite direction. Then there will be a generation of couple, and according to position of force, there will be a clockwise couple generated in clockwise direction. So you are giving clockwise couple in clockwise direction, and generated couple will be also in clockwise direction. So there will be a summation of the couple, and body will not come into the original position. So this type of equilibrium, when the body M is between G and B, it is called as a unstable equilibrium, because body will not reverse into the original position. And when the neutral equilibrium generated, the position of metacenter M coincides the G, then it will be a neutral position. So there are three conditions according to the position of metacenter. Either it may be above, it is called as a stable equilibrium, it is between G and M, it is called as unstable equilibrium. And if metacenter is coincide with the CG, the center of gravity of the body, then it is called as a neutral equilibrium. So that is all for today, friends. Let's summarize what we have seen today. We have seen buoyancy or the force of buoyancy, then center of buoyancy, then Archimedes principle for the calculation of the amount of force of buoyancy. Then we have seen the two definition, metacenter and metacentric height, and types of equilibrium with respect to the position of metacenter. Either it may be above G, it may be below G, or it may be identical with the center of gravity of the body. So thank you, friends.